peeps, that subscribe button. You already know how we do, man. What's poppin', everybody? Salute, salute, salute. Ladybug, salute, man. Angel, salute. I rap 152. My Foster on the building, salute. Peter Lopez, salute. Billy Gordo, Billy up. Bring 5 side too tough for my own good, salute. Pistol game, salute. G.E. Moneybag, salute. Corbin Kings, Buck 50, salute. Simon E.K., salute. KO, salute. Northside Rambo, Billy up, salute. X-Born Invisible XX, salute. Red Team FDR, salute. Sublime Love, salute. Big Boy 4438, salute. George Ruiz, salute. Yeah, we in the Matrix today, man. And as bugged out as it may seem, the Matrix is real, man. The Matrix is very real. No doubt, Peter Lopez. The Matrix is very real, y'all. Those people right over there, Matrix is real, y'all. No diggity, pistol. Matrix is real, man. You know, sometimes when you sit down and you watch things, you know, you start to see things and you be like, And it's like you're in school. You're learning a new trade, even though it's a trade you don't like, though. You know what I'm saying? So, Chinese government said they found a cure. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. So, when I sit down and I study, when I was locked up and I was in the box, I used to be reading some what people would say like off the wall books. For example, one book I was reading about was about the body's anatomy. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know about the body's anatomy, the inside of the body. You know what I'm saying? And then I started reading books on war strategies. Because everybody in jail know the typical Sun Tzu, Book of Five Rings, 48 Laws of Power, so on and so on, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? But I got a little bit more eccentric with it. So I just started to say, let me start reading on war from a different perspective. It might seem boring at first, but as soon as I get a grasp of it and I start to understand it, it might not be as boring as it looks. You know what I'm saying? Facts, Chief the Rapper 44. So one thing that I was learning as I started, that's a fact, I rap 152, Native American war tactics and guerrilla war tactics. But peep this. Um, Now you see that right there? there. That right there is the battlefield. It's the terrain. Now, as you can see, they all fighting on the same terrain. Meaning they all met each other there to square off and fight. So you already know who your op is. If they would have fought a different fight, maybe it would have been less casualties. But they went on some head-on straight honor thing, you know how it go over there back in them times. They bang on their chest and march forward, you know what I'm saying? And that makes more casualties. Now, as you read further down, to excel at strategy, we must first understand what it is. The talent of the strategist is to identify the decisive point and to concentrate everything on it, removing forces from secondary fronts and ignoring lesser objectives. For those of you that didn't hear me the first time, the talent of the strategist is to identify the decisive point and to concentrate everything on it, removing forces from secondary fronts and ignoring lesser objectives. So, as I was learning something, and I'm gonna tell you what I was learning. I was learning about the cyber crimes, and I was learning about the internet. Because I first started learning about the internet when I was locked up using the law library machine. And then I learned a little bit more speaking with people like Ross Albright and people like that was really into that computer stuff. But then when I came out here, I said to myself, okay, let me get into this internet thing. Let me see what this thing is about. But I also looked at it as, this is a different terrain I'm jumping into. Because a lot of people had a negative outlook as far as the internet goes. I didn't understand at that point. But because you have pros and cons to everything, I looked at it as like, well, let's see what happens. Everything has pros and cons. But the internet itself is your terrain. But if you don't understand that terrain, it can lead you astray. So here are the things that you got to do. Number one is identify. Good strategy always starts with a situation analysis to create a deep understanding of the competitive environment in our own realities. The military mantra is intelligence precedes operations. So he said the military mantra is intelligence precedes operations. Meaning, when you think that there's a system and you're trained as a system, your common sense will precede the systematic way it wants you to be, so that it will cost you less trials and tribulations. So you must first identify. In our situation, it would be what? Well, when you're dealing with the internet, it would be trolls, media hype, this, that, and the third. Now, the decisive point. Here he refers to what I call the winning proposition, the central animating idea around which we must organize all our decisions and activities in order to outperform our competitors. once we have it identified this, it's all about focus and determination. So the proposition would be what? The proposition would be there are no voices, only words. You see, because technically a word without a voice really has no meaning. It could be seen and understood in many different manners and ways, and or different people think differently. Put a voice to it, and you will understand what the person is trying to say or trying to do, even if he says it with a smile. Concentrate. Note here the words concentrate everything, not only our physical resources, but also the hearts and minds of our people. To quote Basil Hart, the military historian, all the lessons of war can be reduced to a single word: concentration. Concentration is correct. If you concentrate on your agenda and you don't get taken off course, then the op loses, because that's the main focal point. In when you're processing your talent, when you're processing your talent, opinions and phrases are meaningless. You got to get through you first before others come into effect. Then the last one, no, not the last one, right before the last says remove. Every new thing we choose to do subtracts effort from everything else we do. Making choices, therefore, means deciding what we will not do. These subtractions are the toughest decision of all, but ducking them can be fatal. The most dangerous choice of all is not choosing. So you got to choose what you're going to do. You got to choose if you're going to be a person that got a steel shell, or you're going to be a person that has a wood shell. If you got a wood shell, what happens? It rains, water, mold, deteriorates. Water just runs down steel, you heard? Runs right down it. And then it says, ignore. A winning strategy requires a disciplined mind and a steadfast character. No distractions, no sideshows. We must always keep the main thing the main thing. Causeway's definition gives us a theoretical substructure for thinking and acting strategically. All elaborations are subplots of this central theme. Salute, salute, New York, New York. So now, when I first got into this, and then I started hearing the shenanigans about it, I started to say to myself, like, okay, now let me see how this goes. So you take a person with morals and principles, and when you take a person with morals and principles, you put them in a world where people have no morals and no principles. So now, what happens is that person ends up having to adapt without wanting to adapt, without letting it change who he is or his ways. Because in some matrices, you got to change your ways in order to be accepted amongst those back then. I say this to say, um, when you get into something, you got to study it, And when you study it, you actually see what it is because you giving it the attention it needs. Sometimes we don't give things enough attention, and because we don't give it enough attention, we only see it from the corner of our eye. We don't see it through the bullseye. The bullseye is the center. That's why they call it the bullseye. It's the strong point of vision. It's when you see it, what it is for what it is. Anything else can turn out to be speculation. An unfocused mind makes unfocused thoughts. So now the reason I call it the ghost in the machine is because let me see something. I want to show y'all something. Let's see. Okay, now watch this. I'm gonna show y'all something, man. Yeah, here we go. Right. Yeah, here you go, here you go. Yeah, watch this. See what I do. Why it gets to the point? Why it gets to that part? What I like to do is, it's like when you play chess. Johnny Boy, salute, appreciate you, bro. When you play chess, you know what I'm saying. You gotta learn how to master your enemy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn how to master your enemy. And how you master the enemy is real simple. You understand the enemy. And then when you understand the enemy is powerless. This is why I stopped reading all the ordinary books that people were reading, like the 48 Laws of Power and Sun Tzu and all the other joints. Even though they still have knowledge, don't get me wrong. Even though they still have knowledge, like I said, you gotta understand them for what they are. But it's about to come up soon. Now you see how I like when my page is like we're not really hitting giant numbers. And the reason we ain't hitting those giant numbers is for a reason. Because we're Spartans. And because we keep our chat solid. They can't really come up in here with that because they don't last long. They get booted up out of here. So now what happened? Oh, here it goes right here. There you go right here. Look. That's one right there. So now let me see something. So now watch this. You know, it's crazy. Fact, Vincent Rodriguez, appreciate you, bro. You already know we in the building, Spartan movement all day. So that's one right there. Yeah. Is he in here? Nah. Oh, okay. Nah, he ain't in here. Okay. But I want to show everybody something. It's about to come up in a second. Now, the reason I do what I do, loyalty is everything. Salute by kind. You talking to facts. Salute before you die from Fox. Salute, salute, bad young guns. Salute. Pilato, what's poppin', boy? Wow. See, I want to fast forward so I can show the people. It's coming up soon. Let me see. Bingo. What was that? 1904. Now let me show y'all something right here. The hell? The hell? Where's the new joint that he just did? Oh, here you go, right here.
Yo, this is for rapping singers and singers in a few seconds.
Okay.
I got a lot of rats in here. Whoever hit my like button, I got a lot of rats in here. It's almost got it's like 120. It's a lot of rats in here, a lot of spies in here, you heard? Not hitting my shit. Crazy. Let me find out.
Hold on, let me see. Check this out. Y'all can see it? They can see it?
You're behind us.
Huh?
Behind us. You can wait a second. No.
Hold on. Hold on. They can see it now? Alright, do y'all see this over here? What does that say right there? So you got a dude named Blake Salton. Oh, Sheldon or Salton. Nah, it's Salton here.
Yeah.
Does anyone know Wildcats? You see? Do you see that in the chat? This is in the live that Killer Kev just did just now. You see that? Now, that's all that, right? So now people be bugging out. They be saying, "Yo, Wildcat, why he be looking at all those things like that?" Because those are the things that I find. You see, it's just like they say, if you step on a terrain, you gotta understand the terrain that you're stepping on into. You gotta understand that in order to beat your enemy, you gotta think just like them. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact, Iraq, because rats are everywhere. You see, a lot of people don't know all these things that are on the internet. They're man-made. Facts, Pilato. They're man-made. They jump from chat to chat. I see them. I follow them around. A lot of them be who? A lot of them be ops. You got to understand something. when you done ate a lot of dudes' foods, when you was up in the jails fighting with these beasts, a lot of them beasts they retired now. They even in the internet. You know what I'm saying? They all in the internet. A lot of you got some retired CEOs, all types of people. They all in the internet, bro. Them dudes that was in 1B Bing, them dudes that was in 1 South, them dudes that was in Southport, we can't let those dudes win. We need them to kill each other. We can't let those dudes win. Who the hell showed them how to get on the internet? Who taught them how to do? Who taught them that? How did they get on there? See, I be knowing where these things come from because I study it. You need to study the enemy sometimes instead of just looking at them. Don't just look at them, study them. Learn to understand them. If you remember in the movie The Matrix, Neo didn't even know who he was until he really, really looked into himself. Until Morpheus showed him how to do it. See, this is what I do. I'm saying I don't never just, I don't never just talk the talk, bro. I always show it. I just showed you just now. Salute, New York, New York. Appreciate you. I just showed you just now, bro. When that chat number be all the way up high, man, high and all that, even when they be in high numbers, period, they in there. A lot of dudes is running around New York and don't even know the people around them ain't no good. The game is over. Game is over, bro. It's over. I tell dudes all the time, bro. I don't know where they come from. They think that there is such thing as a game. There is such thing as henchmen and all that other stuff, man. The game is over, bro. These dudes, if they ain't been in jail yet, it's too late to start now. They're not going to be able to do it, man. They tell it. It's a difference. It's a difference when you went to jail and you was like 13, 14. You went to Spofford. From Spofford, you already knew that jail life. Then you went out in the street and then you was like, whatever it is, it is. If I got to go get locked up, I got to go get locked up. Then I got to do me. Then you went to Rikers Island, 16. Now in 16, 17, 18, you're in a full building. Then you turn adult. It's different. You went through the trenches. Some of these dudes, 18, 19, the only thing they did was probably go to the precinct, get smacked on the wrist and left. That's it. So now when you put them in positions where they got to do something serious and they got to hold that down, man, shit. They ain't holding nothing down, bro. They ain't holding nothing down. You gonna tell. Because that's the way it is nowadays, bro. That's the way it is. They gonna tell. And they got them in the chat. They changed their names and all that. Facts, big boy, 4438. That's a fact, New York, New York. You said it correct. Gotta put that one up there. You know. My advice to dudes nowadays: don't be looking for a rep in 2020. You should have been had it. It's a fact. It's too late now. Dudes, this is what I say. You gotta understand your terrain. When I get up in here, do you really think that I get up in here and really? Let me tell you something. I get up in here and I see what people say, it doesn't move me unless I know it's fact. It doesn't move me. I'm sitting right here. I see it, but we got to see what you're saying is true, bro. Facts, Pilato. You see, because you got to understand, man, that the way things goes nowadays is that if you get into something, you got to study what you get into, man. Because let's say, for example, when somebody can take you to, for example, they can take you to a mall to shop, but they trying to shop something different than what you trying to shop. So really what you did is just took them to the mall. Because you don't get no accolades for what they did. And they don't get no accolades for you telling them what to do. So this is why I say, man, it's real simple. You got to understand your terrain. I think that's one of the most important things is understanding your terrain. Check this one out. And this one here is popular. Watch this. They can't see it yet, right? Now watch this. They see that terrain, right? All right, y'all see that? It says terrain. And this is from the Art of War for Sun Tzu. Right? So he says, Sun Tzu says, we may distinguish 6 kinds of terrain to wit: 1, accessible ground; 2, entangling ground; 3, temporizing ground; 4, narrow passes; 5, precipitous heights; 6, positions at great distance from the enemy. Now, if you see what he's saying, right? I want to show you the part where he talks about, all right. On number 18, it says, when the general is weak and without authority, when his orders are not clear and distinct. If the commander gives his orders with decision, the soldiers would not wait to hear them twice. If his moves are made without vacillation, the soldier would not be in 2 minds about doing their duty. So now when you look at it right there, what they saying is what? What they saying is that when these people go in these chats and they're there for what? To cause confusion. They win by two different ways. If they don't cause the confusion, they caught your attention. If they cause the attention, then they could cause the confusion. At the end of the day, they're on the back of the keyboard. You gotta know your terrain. Because this right here is different. It's different because of the games that they play. It's different. There's no honor, there's nothing on here. The only thing that's on here is, yo, I'm bored, I need to see something. I hate them dudes. I remember those dudes. I can't beat them myself, so I need to cause something within them so that they can beat themselves. The Matrix, yo. Matrix. As a fact, Palado, I know. But you know, have you ever heard the saying, you can see a face when you hear the words? You ever heard that saying? That's like when I was in a box, right? I was in some boxes, like D Block in Southport. You can't see the person in front of you because they put a wall there. And you can't see the person next to you because there's a wall on all sides. There's a wall in front, a wall in the back, and a wall on the sides. So you can't see nobody. You can only hear them. So you vision that person by the voice. The only thing that messes you up is when you got one or two wrong because the voice didn't fit the description. But most of the time, you don't see who the person is. You only see them through your imaginative understanding of what their voice sounds like. Facts, loyalty is everything. Salute, DJ Shook Bryant. So you don't see. So the only thing you see, right? The only thing you see is what you imagine, because you never saw the person. You hear their voice, and now you're saying, he sounds like he's about 5'5" or something like that. And like I said, there'll be them times when, you know what? There'll be them times when the person comes out and it don't be what you thought he was. That's why when I got into this and I understood the terrain I was in, I got patient with it. I got patient with it and I started to understand it and I started to see. Billy to the hat, wild bro. Salute, Kyle. You know, one thing I always say, and I say this for a fact, because I know it's a fact. Anything you get into that you don't understand, you will never last long in it. Because you're going to end up killing yourself. If you have an understanding of it, then okay. But when you go into a world where there are no rules, and you expect rules to be implemented, that is the first rule of foolishness. not having an understanding. I had to be patient. I ain't gonna lie, I had to be patient and understand what I got myself into when I got into this thing right here. That's a fact. Diddy Brim ain't saying no lie. I remember those times, man. Compton in the building. Salute Compton. Compton West Side up in here.
See what Vincent Rodriguez wrote?
Nah, what he wrote?
He said here we got his merch and it's official.
Oh, okay, Vincent Rodriguez. Yeah. No doubt, Vincent Rodriguez. I got a slideshow with the merch. I got a lot of pictures, and I'm gonna do a slideshow for a lot of people that bought the shirts. You know what I'm saying? Salute. But what I wanted to do today, basically, because I ain't want to really take everybody's time, because I know everybody got to get to bed. You know what I'm saying? Go to work in the morning and all that. I just wanted to say that, man. Anything that we do in life, we got to understand where we in and what we into. You know what I'm saying? Everything good, K-Bar, you know. We got to understand what we into. And as we understand what we into, then we become stronger in what we into. Can't nobody penetrate what we doing. They fail. They have to go somewhere else to do their little dirt work. But it ain't until we understand our terrain and we have limits upon what we understand, what we feed ourselves. A lot of times we feed ourselves garbage and digest it. That's a fact. Loyalty is everything. You already know. You know what I'm saying? We here to make sure that we pull each other up, not bring each other down. Because the Matrix, there ain't no rules in here, bro. I'm telling you right now. I'm inside right now. And I'm telling you that there's no rules, because in here, it's all creation. When you're in a device that's made of insolent minds, you decipher the creations only to know that they can be recreated again and again and again. Because the circuits, they stay flowing. And from every circuit that you see, it's a new creation. Know what I'm saying? That's what the Matrix is. That's why it's always good for people to understand the Matrix before they go inside. And that's the reason why I study. You got to study. Peter Lopez said the coronavirus is part of the Matrix too. I would say so too. I would say that all those diseases were a way of controlling the population. Because imagine if this world keeps populating, are we going to have enough land? Are we going to have countrysides and all that? I be knowing Big Boy 4438. Everything good, Morris Smith? Iraq said not enough food. I tell you, boy. We in the matrix right now. Mastering your terrain can afford you half a victory in battle. That's a fact. That is a Snapple fact. But I did say that today because I did say that I was gonna do my the shout outs, man. So now that we got 76 people up in here, I want everybody to let me know where they from, man. I want to know where you from. Shout out your hood, your block. Shout all of that out. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like Martin. When they have
Shout out Santana, Block, Compton, Crips. Massachusetts, Maine South, 3Z508. Felicia Cortez, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 23 Southside, 504. East New York, Jersey Ave, Brat. April D, Jersey in the building. Lower East Side is in the building. Boston, Massachusetts, 02130. Hats up. Salute. Pink houses in the building. B-Lows in the building. Rochester in the building. LES up in the building. New Haven, Connecticut. Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. That's a fact. BX in the building. Salute. Bronx, East Tremont. Wartown. East Gun Hill Road, Chirac. 183rd, you heard? 978, Massachusetts. Perth Amboy. Shout out Perth Amboy. Chirac. Shout out Fox and Leggett. Salute to all the real rights. His Squid Brim. Riverdale. Lawtown, Wartown, Sunset Park. Spartans on the front line, y'all already know. Bronx stand up, that's a fact. Shout out to the Boogie Down Bronx. PBA for life, you already know. Love my hats too. Shout out to Stones. The Shines. 149th Street, Crown Heights. Neighborhood Compton, salute.
I just like the sound.
Southern Cali, salute. Rest in peace, Law Valentine, you already know. Salute to all the Spartans, y'all already know. Salute April D. That's a fact, ladies. Bring free top guns, man. PX up. Down to the stone. That's a fact, Gemstone. Love my stone. Salute Sherm the Worm. Salute Mark Cross.
You know, a lot of the change in our society.
More or less, everybody, man. The lesson for the day was this, man. A lot of times we got to be more patient and look at things before we jump out the window. Because at all times, we under the microscope. A lot of people don't see it. I just showed it to everybody today, man. They in all the chats, trying to figure out people's names and all that. Why are they doing that? Come on, bro. It's easy to tell. That's a fact. Shout out Mario Machete all day. That's my dude. I just was talking to him the other, last night. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, at all times, man, you got to be on point. You got to watch things. Never assume. Be factual. Understand things for what they are. And be more patient and understanding in it. And you will see how far you get. That's a fact. Loyalty over everything. That's a fact. Free Top Guns, man. Salute everybody, man. Stay up. Blaze, what's poppin'? I was just about to get out and I saw you up in there. Salute.